I will be handing over to Miss Faith.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here and to see you all. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Yeah. This is
we can hear you, Faith. We can hear you, Faith. We can hear you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, I think there's a delay, but I'll just go ahead. So if before I come in, I would let Mr. Mba go ahead and just continue with know your participants, and perhaps we can do the polls together just to get a sense of who is here.
Thank you so much. So what we are going to do right now is we are going to go through a series of questions, not so many, just 4 questions. It's going to come in the form of a pool, like an MCQ, something like that. So we want you guys to, give us feedback so that we can best know how to help you, okay? The reason for the pool is to get to know what your needs are so that we can tailor the workshop and support, and everything will be given you to suit and to meet your needs, okay? So the very first pool, we're going to run the very first pool. You should see a dialog pop up on your screen. If you're on mobile, I think you should see it. If you're on your computer, you should see it as well. Okay, so we'll give a minute for you to take the poll. You answer the question that is in front of you. You have 2 options. You have a yes and a no to the question. Question is, do you own a laptop? Simple as, do you own a laptop? So let us know what your answer is from your side. And in a couple of seconds, we're going to run the next poll. I imagine that by now we all have had the answer. Okay, so we'll go to the next poll. Just look at your screen, you'll see the next poll. So we're going to see the next poll right now. Yes. Okay, go ahead and answer the question. Have you gotten admission abroad in the past? Yes or no? In about 30 seconds, we're going to present the next question. Please just let us know if you have challenges taking the questions, okay? You leave a message to us and then let's see what to do. Ariane, can you hear us? You mentioned that you don't have sound from your side. I don't know if it's okay now. So the second poll, have you gotten admission abroad in the past? Yes or no? When you select the answer, you click submit. Don't forget to click submit. You select the answer and you click submit. Submit is at the bottom of the dialog, okay? So we'll move to the third. The third poll is before you. Please don't hesitate to let us know if you have any challenge taking the question, okay? Have you applied for scholarships in the past? One or more scholarships? Have you applied for any one or more scholarships in the past? Let us know with a yes or a no. Remember to click submit after selecting your answer. Okay, getting ready for the next and the last poll. Oh no, I think this is the last poll. If I'm not, yeah, this should be the last. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the questions. As I said, these questions are very useful to us so that we can best help you. The very first question, have you applied for scholarship in the past? This is the first, I can see the results. Just, please, can you present us with the results of the poll?
Okay, sure.
Yes, or
let me know if you can see it.
Yes, yes, but it's probably not. This is not the first question.
Okay. Oh, you want the
want
first question? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'll share the first question.
From your side, can you please just walk us through the results of the poll?
Yes, I can.
And what it implies.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm sorry, okay. I think it's messing up a little bit on my end. So from my side, I can see that in terms of laptop ownership, we have about 67% of those who responded that have access to laptops. And that is helpful to know just like what we have to deal with, because when you're applying for a scholarship, if you're using a phone, the experience is totally different from if you have a laptop at your disposal. So it gives us a sense of what you're working with and where you might have some challenges. The next part was about the application history, like have you gotten admission in the past? And we have over 45% of people have applied and gotten admissions in the past. So it means this is not totally new, and it just helps us to know what areas to emphasize during the session. And the last part was the scholarship application history, which I think it's the only part that got displayed. So we have at least 70% of people who've applied for scholarships in the past. It's very useful information to have because, well, you probably have some experience, and everyone is, we know some people have not started as well, just so that it helps us moderate like what we lay emphasis on and what it is that we get to talk about in the session. Yes, so yeah, thank you, Ms. Namba. That's what I have from my end.
Thank you so much, Ms. B. Thank you. So I'll hand over the floor to Ms. Karin.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Tamba and Ms. Faye. Okay, we are just going to go straight to introduction of consultants. So you just tell us your name. As I earlier said, I am Para Karin Bonka. I'm one of the coordinators from Early Scholarship. So I'll just hand it over to the next person. Yeah, that is Ms. Tamba. And then we'll just go.
Hello again. My name is Mba Matklaus Mushi. I currently work as an IT specialist with the United Nations, precisely UNESCO. I am a computer engineer by training and also a robotics and hardware enthusiast. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching from. My name is Siri Guaraisa. I am West African Scholar. I'm part of the BMIS Consulting Agents, which representing this program today. I'm a software engineer, business entrepreneur, double with product management. And then I'm a business and tech consultant still at BMIS Consulting, involved in artificial intelligence and robotics. So.
Hello, everyone. I guess you can see me, right?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Kyote Harrisop from Boya, and I'm a PhD student in the University of Exeter in the UK, and I'm studying applied mathematics and statistics in weather, and I'm a former student of AIMS Cameroon, if you've heard of it, and my PhD is under the EPS ROC Award. So it's a UK Research Council scholarship. And I'm also very passionate about science advocacy. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I can't see myself. I hope I'm visible.
Yes, very well. I can see you.
Okay. My name is Futse Uego. I'm a PhD student in CUNAM of Paris. My PhD is in computer science, more specifically on recommendation systems. I equally did AIMS, but AIMS Senegal, where I was a MasterCard Foundation scholar. And that's it, I guess.
Is Daniel here? Okay.
Hi everyone. For me, Melvin is my name. Currently a MasterCard Foundation scholar at the American University of Beirut, taking a master's in biomedical science with focus in immunology and microbiology. I'm also an Open Dream scholar, and I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll be handing over the session to Ms. Faith. So she'll be diving into answering most asked questions of participants.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. I just hope that the video is not a problem. I want to verify that really early. But yeah, ready to start. Please give me a minute to share my screen and get to it. Okay, I hope you can see that. Oh, just a minute. Okay, thank you so much. Before the workshop started, you had a list, like a registration sheet or so, and I got feedback about some of the questions that were most asked, and I'm going to go through some of those questions. I'll try to be as quick as possible so that you all get into the workshop. Which is something that has probably not been talked about a lot, but this is meant to be a workshop and not a webinar. So we hope that it's not a place where you just hear about scholarships, but that few minutes after this, you actually sit down and work on your scholarship application. So some of the most asked questions that we had were around understanding scholarship requirements and equally essay writing tips. So I'll dive a little bit into that in the course of this session. And just so that you're not speaking with a stranger, I'm Faith, and my profile is very much at the intersection of computer engineering and business so far. And I really absolutely love everything that has to do with education. And that's why I was excited to get the invitation to participate and to share, my thoughts on the most asked questions. So this is a bit of the outline that we would go through. We would learn a little bit about scholarships. We've had lots of people say, oh, you know, I get overwhelmed. I receive all of these announcements about scholarships, and I have no idea what the steps are that I need to take between receiving that advert and converting a scholarship. So I'll dive a little bit into that in the first part. In the second part, we would get a little further into writing strong essays. There is a formula, it's not magic. And then in the last part, we will talk a little bit about asking smart questions. We have consultants here who would be available in breakout rooms for you to ask them any question wherever you're stuck in your application process. And we want to be sure that you are equipped to ask them the right questions, that you are equipped to get the kind of help that you need. And the last part will be defining your workshop task. I do understand that you received commitment templates, which were really documents that were supposed to help you to decide what it is that you get to do during this workshop. So sort of break down the main task that you had. If you had to work on a scholarship essay, perhaps you could say, you know, I'll build my introduction and I'll build, you know, the body, but I'll do the conclusion tomorrow. But in this last part, if you have not been able to break it down that way, we've been able to collaborate with one of the participants who is here to build a mini app that would help you break down that task. So that's the last thing that we'll talk about. But first, let's dive into it, the first part, which is from advert to final submission, and see exactly how that goes. So in the first part, you just received, you just received this message in your WhatsApp. You know, there's this whole scholarship that is up, and it's open to people. What is the first step that you take when this comes to your phone? And this is very important because lots of people have equally complained about not knowing whether something is legit or not. So assuming that you receive this, there is something that you can do. The first thing that you get to do is take time to read what it is that you see, the name. This is important because sometimes just the name of the scholarship can let you know if it's something that you qualify for or not. We don't have unlimited time, and being efficient just means that you dive into and make the most of your time. If the scholarship was named, for example, science or engineering or MBA scholarship, and your focus is totally different, then it saves you a lot of trouble just reading the name, because then you don't even have to go for that. You don't have to do any additional work. You just know this is not meant for me, right? But when you have read, what is the next step that you take? The next step that you take in this process is you open the link at all. So you're going to click that link to see where exactly does it lead me, and it will give you information of about what that next step is. So I'll I'll try to share my entire screen right now just so that we can go through that process together, because it's meant to be super hands-on. So imagine that this is where we are, and because we cannot click on this screenshot, I would directly click here, right? So you have to at all open the link. I'm not sure if you can see my screen. Can you see the website that's open?
No, I can. I think what I can see from my side is just a WhatsApp message.
Perfect. So I'm going to share a second time, and I'll just share everything so that you have access. Can you see it now?
Very well.
Yes, we can.
Thank you so much for confirming. So when you click on that link, this is what is open. Something that you should pay attention to as well is that the internet, just like every else in the world, is flooded with irrelevant information and loads of information that you have no business even visiting. So when you come to this page, you're going to see all of these places. Remember why you came here. The focus was you had the Mind Scholarship advert. So the next step you want to take is check the requirements. What are the requirements for this scholarship, for example? So you come down here and see, you know, you must be a national of an African country. This sounds a bit like most people who are registered for this program, but sometimes you would see that you need to be a citizen of A, B, C, D country. And if your country is not on that list, then you automatically can leave that and go check something else. When you have checked all the way to the end and you find out that you're eligible, then you can take the next step. But there's a requirement here that gives like some additional information that I think it's important we pay attention to. And I'll just talk about one here, which is produce evidence of demonstrated leadership. There's a good number of scholarships that require scholarships and even fellowships that require this. And it usually does not mean that you have been called president, CEO, chief of anything. It just means that you have contributed positively to your community and you've enabled people to meet their objectives or to achieve their goals in some way. And that usually should be outside your usual self. So it wouldn't just be with you, or maybe you supported a sibling, to go get stuff in the market or something that is truly meaningful and speaks to how else you could be useful in the community. But when you have checked this and realized that, you know what, I think I fully qualify, the next step that you want to take is to actually check the website of the scholarship itself, because this is just a platform that advertises the scholarship. So now you go back to you need to check the website. Just let me know if you still can see my screen. So assuming that this is where it is, we all can use Google. So you remember the scholarship was Mind Scholarship. You come here, you click on that link and it takes you to the website. On the website, you check what it is that is concerned with scholarships. And again, here it is the third part. This is another step that can help you to see if this is a legit advert or not. So if it's taking you to some private information that is asking you for ridiculous sums of money or so, because there are scams out there, you can know that, well, this does not sound legit. But here we are on this page, and it gives us even more information. I would want to go all the way to the bottom of the page because it contains some additional information here. Lots of people want to get scholarships, and sometimes it does not feel like it's totally clear that scholarships are not given in vacuums. You don't get to be given a scholarship of, let me say, $100,000, and then you go ahead to find out what school you go to. Most of the time, scholarship organizations would require that you have an admission to some school first. So part of what you have to do when you check out these scholarship programs is what schools do they sponsor, right? And here you have the list of schools that are being sponsored. Now you can check and see, does any of these schools sound like a school that I'm interested in any way? And upfront, you may not know, but you equally have the internet. You cannot copy these names and check to see, do I qualify for these scholarships or not? Or are these schools that have programs that I'm interested in or not? Sorry, that was a mistake. Yes, so you then check the schools to see if you're interested in them or not. Once you have done that, you scroll all the way and find out where the apply button is. Because all this while, until you click on the apply button, you have not started that process yet, right? But again, in this case, you will not be able to complete the process before you have applied to the school. So I'm going to again take up a school's website so that we can see what that looks like. So one of the schools that was listed there was the Lagos Business School. So I'll quickly type that here. So this is the example here. Something else that the scholarship mentioned was you must be admitted into a full-time program. And this is why it's very important to read those documents fully. Now, because I'm familiar with this website, I know the only full-time program is this one. So, for example, even though they sponsor for this school, if you come to this school and apply to any of these other programs, the scholarship body will automatically reject your letter because they want to sponsor only full-time students, right? So you now come here and check, okay, this is the program that they have. This is all that they have. I really want to apply. How do I apply? Look for the apply button and you click on it. If you stick here and you check and it looks all nice, all glossy, all beautiful, the application has not happened. You have to click here and then fill in, okay, anyways, this is still providing like the fees information. Oh, just a minute. Application button. Yes, we need to start an application. Good. So you need to come all the way until you can find out exactly where the application button is, and then you click on it. But this is the process that you would go through to apply for your scholarship, from the time that that advert hits your phone to the time that you apply. Now, in this presentation, I'm doing a little bit of a rush, and I know that we have consultants and you can ask additional questions. The other part is the session is being recorded. You would have access to it on YouTube, so you can go through the process. But it's just to give you a picture of what it is that the scholarship application looks like, and the fact that it's not as simple as straightforward as, oh, you receive a link, and maybe if you just send an email and say, I'm interested, I really love this and I think it's for me, you would get it. So this is like a shortened, or I'll say rushed way to say this is likely the process that you would follow when you get to apply for a scholarship. We have gone over these some of these steps already, so I'll just go through a few more steps. Something else that seems to keep a lot of people stuck is just the additional requirements for some of these admissions and scholarships, the standardized tests. And for this, I want to suggest that you should take your time to consider and do the test for schools that cannot give waivers. There are schools that would let you say, oh, you know, I've studied in the English language for 22 years, so maybe I don't need to write the IELTS to show that I have proficiency. Some schools would let you do that. But for schools that would not, and for schools that you really want, I would suggest that you should make up your mind and write them. It is okay to be scared of exams and to be worried and to say, you know, the last time I did an exam, I almost had malaria and I was all scared. But sometimes you really have to face your fears. You really have to do more than what is comfortable to you to get to the goal. So my suggestion would be to plan financially and then to build a dedication. Know exactly how much you need to prepare to register for the exams. Do an estimate and understand exactly what the workload is like and how much time you need to effectively prepare. But that is the first part. What happens when you see the advert and how do you navigate all the way to submitting your scholarship application? But there is a second part to this, which is really with the ACEs. Now you've clicked on the portal and you've entered, and then they ask you, what exactly is your purpose? And you become like, okay, people of God, where are we supposed to start with this? But this second part is on writing the ACEs. So you get a little bit, just like hints and guides on some sort of a framework or structure that has been helpful and which you might be able to adapt and support yourself in the process. So the first step we would suggest is take time to reflect, take time to think. You will not be able to write a great essay without thinking. Think about the journey that has brought you so far. Think about where you want to go to in future. Think about what you would want to do if you had no constraints, if you had all of the money, if you had all of the support, if you could get into any school that you wanted, if you could get any scholarship that you applied to, what would you do? What are the things that would be interesting to you? But take time to think about it. And the next thing which we recommend is speak with people who have gotten that same scholarship or who have gotten to that school in the past. Hear from them, what was their experience? How did the school prepare them for the jobs that they do now? How did the school support them or the scholarship for for whatever dreams it is that they are living? This is helpful because it would guide you to even know some of the things to emphasize in your essay. Sometimes when writing essays, we emphasize the things that don't matter. And for myself, I think the last scholarship application that I wrote, I probably wrote 15 different versions of it, and I had maybe 7 different people review for me because I have not gone through that school. And most of the time I was emphasizing things that were not relevant. But when you speak with these people, you would understand that, oh, you know, this is what is important for the school. In the next slide, we'll get into details about how you can know what's really important to the school or the scholarship program. And while you're having these conversations, take notes of what matters to the school. What is their mission? What is their vision? What is their culture? You can get some of that information on the website. Also take time to understand what are the features of the program, right? So for example, with the Mandela Institute of Development Studies, the scholarship that we just viewed, they organize training programs. They invite some really prominent former leaders to speak with the current scholars. Those are things that are important to them. And if you think that those programs don't make sense to you, you probably don't want to apply. But also, if you don't have a profile that suits that, you will not be able to write an essay that convinces them to invest in you. These are people who will be investing millions into your education. And it's like any other business. If you do not present as a worthwhile investment, you would not get it. And sometimes it's not that you're not intelligent. It's just that what you want to achieve is totally out of line with what they want to achieve, and it doesn't make sense. So let's take a next step and just find out, what does this alignment look like in practice? And I'm going to move to this draft document that we prepared earlier. Oh no, okay. Just give me a minute to open it. Okay, so just a little bit of a framework again that can guide you through thinking about that. While you're going through the school's website, pay attention. What is their mission? And sometimes it's very clearly written on the school. We are out to do A and to support B to become C. Now think about it in line of your own purpose. What is that for me? And you could take time and note it, because when you just think about this as a huge essay that I need to write, it could really be intimidating and overwhelming at the start, right? And when you have thought about that, think about this in the context of a school. You're like, oh, you know, students who enroll on this program need to have strong quantitative skills. They need to have a solid background in artificial intelligence, and they need to understand how to do research. Now check within your skills and past experience and also see what are the matching skills that I have against these. This would help you in writing your essay. And when you have done that, move even further and check in the next step. Now I know about the skills. What is the culture within the school? What are they like? You know, they could tell you, oh, here we are really careful about supporting our communities and ensuring that we support them in A, B, C, D way. Think about the ways that you have supported your own community that way also, and write them. And when you come to the next step, it would be your long-term goals. Most schools want to be sure that you have a short or long-term goal that they can contribute to. So think about those long and short-term goals, and then think about how the programs and features of the school would support you to achieve that. And once you have gone through this, then you're ready to start with your draft essay. Now you can come back to your essay and figure out, this is the essay. What do I want to say? You could think about, oh, you know, within the first essay, I really want to talk about how the school's values and mission align with my purpose and the passion that I have to solve specific problems. Within the second, you could talk about, oh, you know, these are your long and short-term goals, and this is how it aligns with the program's features, right? And within the third, you could talk about, but you are not writing random sentences. Every blessed sentence that you write is marked with something that is relevant to the school, and that ensures that you get that admission or you get that scholarship. But this is a framework that we think could help you or support you to just break down that huge complex task of writing an essay into something that is manageable, into something that is doable, into something that is achievable. I feel like I should take a break here because I'm probably going like pretty quick, but we have a short time and you would be speaking with our consultants. Feel free to note any questions that you have so far, and you can check in with our consultants for support. But once you have done all of that work, the next thing you want to do is to get people to review your application essay. Ideally, you should get people who have gone through the program in the past to review your essays. They will be able to tell you what you are missing, something you could word differently. Sometimes you have it, but you just use the language that does not communicate as much in the context. Something else that I know that schools do, some schools have referral systems. You may be able to get someone to refer you. And here, it doesn't even need to be someone that you know. LinkedIn is so open these days. I've gotten referrals from people I just did not know before. I just reached out to them on LinkedIn. So I'll suggest that you take advantage of the platform. And when you have spoken with them, with people who have been in these schools or programs before, ask them if there's a possibility to give a referral. Some programs don't have it, and that would be totally okay. But if there is, then you want to take advantage of that. And finally, submit your applications and submit them early so that you don't have to deal with the, you know, the last minute technological failures that are quite common. But this is like a rushed version for addressing your essays. And in the last part, this is really, my presentation is done. Here is just preparing you for the consultation sessions, but also for engaging with other people as you navigate your scholarship journey. How do you ask questions? And this is very important for creating the right impression, but also for making the most use of the time. You will struggle a lot to get time from someone, and if you do, you don't want to misuse it. You want to really take advantage of that. So the first thing you want to do is understand whatever problem it is that you have. It is respectful to whoever you're reaching out to, that you take time to understand. Try to solve it, like make an effort, right? Don't say, oh, you know, I want to apply for scholarships. Where is it? And well, the person could tell you it's on Google. You probably want to do like some research. Take note of the exact challenge that you have and try to communicate effectively. And this is an example of how not to communicate, which we have modeled. And it sounds, it could look funny, but so if you're reaching out to someone for support and say, oh, you know, I've really tried this scholarship thing, but it's not going, right? The next question would be, when you say not going, what exactly do you mean? And you're like, you know, I've really tried, but there are no details. so without details, it's really hard to know exactly where you're stuck. But this is how we would recommend that you communicate with the consultants when you get into the breakout rooms and even outside the breakout rooms. Give some context, let them know, okay, this is where I am. This is what I am trying to do. This is what I have tried and it has not worked. And this is where I'm stuck. And where I'm asking for your support is, do you have another way around it? But this is a suggested, not necessarily framework, but just something that will guide you to communicate effectively so that you don't exchange 20 messages before someone understands exactly what they should do to support you. So at this point, I want to say thank you so much for your time. This is really where this section ends. And we will be sharing the link to the task breakdown in the chat. I think the coordinator is probably taking charge of that. But if you are not sure how to make the most of the workshop time because you have a big thing like you have the scholarship to write, but you're not sure where to begin, then that would help you. So I would want to hand this over to Karine and then to Karine and Ms. Tamba. But thank you all so much for the time. And yeah, looking forward to engaging further.
Thank you very much, Ms. Faith, for the presentation and how we should ask questions and answering the most frequently asked questions. I will be handing over to Ms. Tamba who is going to tell us how we are going to do for our workshop, for our working sessions, and tell us how the breakout rooms will be like.
Thank you so much. I really loved the presentation, Faith, and thank you, Karine, for handing over to me. I just noticed that Mr. Daniel is around. So before we proceed, could you please introduce yourself? Ms. Faith, please, could you please maybe mount up the PowerPoint presentation of the consultants? Daniel, please, you have the floor. Okay. Yes, thank you so much. Okay. Daniel, you have the floor. Oh, I think Daniel may be having problems with connection. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. Okay, nice. Okay, thank you so much. Ms. Faith. Yes. Are we ready to move to the next part? Is everything okay? Is the breakout rooms?
Yes, so I'm quickly setting up the breakout rooms now.
Okay.
Yes, but I guess in the meantime, perhaps while I'm setting it up, if people have questions, perhaps they could start to ask and would answer in the main room. And then once it's all set up, they can move, if that's okay with you.
Okay, that's fine. Very okay. So there is Mr. Kingsley. So there is a chat. If you're following the conversation in the chat section, Kingsley just posted that I advise you never submit without having someone review your essay. The most important thing is not just submitting, but submitting a very competitive application. Remember that when you're applying for a scholarship, you may not see all those who are applying for you or with you, but sometimes you have hundreds and even thousands of people apply for the same scholarship. So if you want to stand the chance of winning, you must be competitive at all levels. and your AC is very, very important. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kingsley. If you have questions, please, you can, while you're setting up the breakout rooms, you could just drop them in the comment section. Okay, while we're getting our question set and the breakout rooms, one thing I just want to highlight is the fact that I imagine that some people may not be very well aware about the need for the English proficiency. So the idea is that schools would want you to prove your understanding of a particular language. English proficiencies can be other languages besides English. So for English proficiencies, they will need you to show a proof of your understanding, reading and writing of a particular language like English. And so the needs of different schools will vary. Sometimes they will need you to submit a document gotten from having taken an exam, like TOEFL or IELTS or the others. Sometimes all you need to do is to show proof that you have studied in English for maybe for the past couple of years. So for that, you can get a document from maybe from the GCE board, for example. You could also get it from after writing an exam. You could get it for maybe you could show some proof if you maybe had some courses. I don't know, but the needs will vary. But what is the most professional form of showing yourself as an English candidate is the professional exams like the TOEFL and the IELTS that you will need to take, and these exams are paid for. And if you realized in one of the slides of Faith, she mentioned that you also need to prepare financially. Okay, so you need to prepare for the exam, but you need to pay to write the exam. So there is some financial implication that is required. Okay.
Right. I'm sorry. I think there's still a technical challenge from my side. Perhaps if there's more questions, we could continue to address them. But Ms. Tamba, I think I would need your support.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so just to clarify, the breakout rooms will be opened. I'll just openly communicate the challenge. That way it's easy for you to navigate. The rooms would automatically open, and our consultants have been registered with their alongside the areas where they can comfortably contribute. They could contribute outside those spheres. So for example, for master's applications, they would likely have useful information about undergrads as well. And for PhDs, they could equally have information for you about master's programs. But something, I think I'm missing a tiny detail here, but it looks like once I create the rooms, it would automatically assign you. Now, if it automatically assigns you, you have the freedom to come back to this main room. And once you're in this main room, you can move back into any of the rooms that you like. So in the event that you're automatically moved like that, feel free to come out of the room and then join any other room that you prefer. That's like the tiny challenge that I think might arise once I click to launch the rooms. So, Ms. Namba, does that sound like a plan, or what do you suggest?
No, I think that is okay. If you have any challenges, please feel free to write in the comment section, okay? just click on the chat icon on your screen, and then tell us what is going on, the challenge you have, and let's see how to take it from there. As she said, once she clicks, you may be assigned to a room, and it means that you will leave this main channel, this main room, okay? You will probably meet other people in the room, but you can always come back. Remember, you can always come back to the main room. Thank you very much, Ms. Faith, for explaining that.
You're welcome. All right, so I'm just going to open it now. All right, it looks like it did better than expected. So feel free to join the room that has information that would support your process. And we have just like 30 minutes, or I think.
Hello. Are we staying in the breakout rooms?
Yes. So on this would say, are you able to join your breakout room?
Yeah, I just joined. There were two people, but I spoke. It's like they're not hearing, but they left. So I'm wondering, has it started or it was a test?
It wasn't a test.
Should I wait? Should I wait in that room?
Yes, please wait in the room, and perhaps I'll just join to see exactly how that is going.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, or maybe Karina rather. Oh, okay. So I think I'll just go over this again. I understand that some people registered for the workshop this morning and probably missed the prior communication. For the work that you're supposed to do during the workshop. If you have any challenges, you can get into any of these designated breakout rooms and ask any questions that you have. So yeah, that is what is expected at this point. And like we said, it was meant to be a workshop where you use this time to work on something that is helpful for your scholarship application. So if you know where you are and you have started to do that work, then please go ahead. But if you are stuck and you don't know what is going on right now, feel free to ask a question and you would get support on that. And also for the benefit of those who can't see, if you can't see how to join the breakout rooms, feel free to just say what program you are currently applying for, and you would be assigned to the appropriate breakout room. And when you're assigned, you still have to accept from your end. So you need to click accept to be assigned. Thank you.
Mr. Mba is like this, Mr. Daniel Masters is still an issue. Let me see. Was it them that
Hello, Jeff. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you so much. I just want to know, are you just joining us right now?
I'm just joining.
Okay, so we are currently in a breakout session. So we had an introduction, we had a presentation, and now we are working with consultants in different breakout rooms, and they are sharing their concerns. The participants are sharing their concerns, and they are getting their questions answered. So I don't know. We also did a poll just to find out exactly where people are. I just want to find out what are you really interested in? Are you anticipating maybe a master's application, scholarship application? What is your interest, so that we can know what pool to send you to?
Okay, I'm anticipating a PhD application.
PhD, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, I'll get back to you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so with that information, I've just assigned you to the room. Let me know if you can get the notification. Or once you do, just accept to join, and then that would be it.
Once you have joined the room, I think you should see a dialog box pop up on your screen if you're on a mobile or on a laptop. Once you see the dialog box, okay, he just left. I was about explaining how to come back to this room, but I guess he'll be able to figure it out.
You were way too effective.
I understand, Mr.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for responding so swiftly.
You're welcome. Thank you too. Okay, I think the breakout room time would be up in about 1 minute.
Yeah, the time became so short. I'm wondering if at all we're able to actually do it the way we wanted.
Miss Faye, just a second. I think we still have other polls to run, right?
We have one poll to run.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, it's like someone just joined again. I don't know if she's coming from the breakout room or you can see Law Mataya. Please, are you just joining?
Hello, Martha and Fabrice. Are you just joining us, or you're coming from the breakout room? Okay, Martha says she just joined. Thank you, Martha, for joining us. So we have had a presentation, and the other participants are in the breakout rooms. It's quite fortunate that the breakout room sessions are just ending right now. So people will be joining back in. Just stay put, and then let's see how to close the session together. Okay.
We've been kicked out of the breakout room. Was it over? Because we were speaking and we just got kicked out. Is the breakout sessions over?
Yes, I think so.
Yes, for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, that felt a bit harsh to kick people out.
Well,
sorry
at
about
least
that.
we could see that we will soon be kicked off. So it wasn't like
Okay,
immediate.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have a couple of people who join us much later while we're in the breakout rooms. So as I explained, we had an introduction at the beginning, and we had a presentation. And then after that, we went into breakout rooms. So one of the things we also did was to have a poll, which is just a series of questions to ask to find out exactly where we are so that we can be able to best help those who need help, okay? So we are back from the breakout room, and what we are going to continue doing is we'll have one more poll to do. And then just to know, Ife, please, how many minutes do we have? How many minutes do we have up till maybe the final remarks?
We have 28 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much. So I hope you had a good time over there. As you said, I mean, I could testify that you were having a very engaging discussion while you got kicked out. Sorry about that. We would surely have more sessions in the future, and after this, we hope to have, you know, maybe close groups where we can work together and we can best help those who need help. Okay, so we have one more session to run before we get into the final session for this workshop. Thank you so much for staying with us. Okay, so we will just quickly present you. Okay.
If something is not working right with the poll, perhaps we could just go ahead with the other parts while I sort that out.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you. So we have a couple of links we want to share with you. Okay, we have the WhatsApp link. I'm not so sure everybody has joined the WhatsApp group. So we'll share with you in the chat section the link to the WhatsApp channel. Please just give it a click and then join us, and also share with friends. We will be sharing information on this WhatsApp channel as time goes on, so that you can, you know, maybe know when our next workshop is going to happen, and then you can always ask your questions as well. Okay, so I'll share that in the chat section right away. If you're on your PC, you may need some way to get it to your phone. I don't know how well you can join a group from your PC unless your WhatsApp is connected to your PC already. Okay, we also have a YouTube channel. As it was communicated at the beginning of this workshop, we're actually going live. So everything we are doing here right now is being streamed on YouTube, so that those who are online can as well follow, who are not part of this meeting, who did not register for the meeting. Okay, so I would recommend that you join the YouTube channel. Oh, thank you so much. This is good. So I don't have to send that one after another. So you'll see there, we have the YouTube channel, and we also have the Substack newsletter link. Okay, feel free to click on the links and then join where you feel comfortable.
I was just wondering if, especially for those who got kicked out in the midst of a conversation, like perhaps you could, if it's not a super private discussion, if it's something that you're happy to continue to share, since it feels like we have some extra time. So perhaps we could take a few more questions in the main room before we wrap it up, if that's fine.
Yes, thank you so much. You know, any of our mentors can take the floor.
Can I? Is it okay if I proceed?
Yes, please.
Okay. So somebody from my breakout room was, I think the last question was like, he doesn't always know what to include in his essays, especially about maybe regarding to the experiences he's had, maybe, or volunteerism, or like, I mean, all experiences in short. So he doesn't always know which to include, which not to. And for me, what I have to say about that is that sometimes you just have to list them down. Then you try to critically look at it to see which of them applies to, maybe if it's a school you're applying to, the skills you got from whatever, maybe an internship, volunteerism, or whatever. You try to see if the skills actually align with what you're applying for, if it's at the level of the school, and if it's maybe with regards to the scholarship, to a scholarship body, you try to see if they're interested in it. Like MasterCard, for example, they don't mind if you volunteer in whatever aspect. It could be directly linked to the field you're applying to or totally different. They don't mind. They just want to see if you're somebody that likes giving back to your community. So in that case, you may just want to look at something that you've made impact in it, and perhaps you can prove if you're being asked to. And also with regards to that, I want to say that sometimes it's not enough to just state that I did this, I did that. It's very important to make it realistic, and to make it realistic here, it's you try to be very specific. Let's say maybe you belong to an NGO, or let's say you volunteer for an event. Like, try to state out your role. It's not important to say I volunteer on the cleanup day to clean my city, but try to state your role. Like, what exactly did you do as a person in a group? And you try to you could like numbers, like, I mean, make your impact known in numbers. Like, how many times did you do that, and what was the outcome of it? You just make it very realistic, because the truth is everybody can always fake, but sometimes when you're stating things that are very specific, especially with values and time, it at least it sounds more convincing. That's just what I have to say with regards to that.
Thank you, Melvis. Any other consultant who want to take the floor? And then when we are ready for the poll, we'll let you know. Maybe some question that, okay. Thank you, Harris. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, this goes for mostly people who are applying for PhD. So there is always a challenge of which university do I really choose? And yeah, we are fond of, going online and checking the ranking and seeing if the university is in a better position. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that is perfect. But there is something you have to take into consideration. The kind of supervisor you work with in your PhD, it's very, very important. He's going to be your godfather for life. So it's better to maybe do a PhD in a university which is not really famous with a good supervisor than to do a PhD at MIT with a bad supervisor. So, because after your PhD, what happens is your postdoc industry position is based on your output. It's not based on the university that you graduated from. So when applying for PhD, take time and understand the supervisors of the project. Take your time, go through, track their history, the students that they have supervised in the past, and where the students are. These informations are very, very helpful. If these people are people that you can relate with, trust me, you can get into depression if your supervisor is not a good supervisor. So it's very important that while you're thinking about the ranking of the university, also take into account the type of supervisor that is supervising the project that is being advertised. That is very, very important. I am here at the University of Exeter and also some other facilities surrounding your university. I'm here doing climate science related stuff. And it's a privilege to be in a place where the Meteorological Center in the UK is based, because that helps, it gives me, access to a lot of experts. I mean, I just need to walk for like 30 minutes and get to the Met office, while someone can be in, Lancaster, can be even in Oxford, but the person will not have access to the Met Office. So these are some of the things that you should take into consideration. Ranking is cool, but accessibility and the type of supervisor is something that you should really, really focus on. I mean, I've got friends who almost got into depression after their first year because of the type of supervisor. So that's the input I just want to make.
Thank you so much, Harris. Thank you so much. Your supervisor is your mentor for life. Remember, your supervisor is your mentor for life. It's better to choose a good supervisor, one you can work with in a not so popular school, than to go for a popular school and have somebody that, you know, maybe challenging to work with. Thank you so much for that feedback. I know it's very helpful for some people. I just want to find out if we have any more maybe comments from the consultants. Maybe one more, and then we can go ahead. One more consultant. If there is something you deem pertinent for the participants, just raise a hand and then take the floor. Okay. Yes, Karin, I think you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. Okay, I would love to just add the issue of recommendation letters. It's good to have good relationship with your lecturers and even any organization that you find yourself, to the people you meet, because there are times you need recommendation letters, and if you are not in good standing with your lecturers or the people around you, that will be difficult. So you should be mindful of your relationships and make sure you have at least 5 people or 6 people with your lecturers inclusive, be it from your work where you're doing voluntary services or where you're working, so that when you need recommendation letters, they will be able to help you. And always communicate them. Don't communicate them at the 2 days to the deadline or when it is the deadline. Give them time, even 1 month. If you anticipate to apply to a program, you can tell them even 1 month to the deadline or even 2 months, so that, and you keep reminding them. You can remind them, like if you still have like 2 months, you can remind them after 2 weeks. If it is a month, you can remind them at the end of the week, so that the abusive people, it's not like the only thing they do is to sit and write that, so that you can be writing them. And also, like we're talking about, you are applying for a PhD. You should make sure that you when you write them as well, if you write a prospective supervisor and you don't hear from him in 2 weeks, you can write a follow-up. Many at times they don't respond on the first message that you write. They may think that you were just joking. Sometimes when you do the follow-up before they can take you serious. And if it is for a scholarship and you see that the deadline is quite approaching, you can write him again. Maybe you can, if you send a reminder and you don't get after 3 days, you can decide to search, go to the website, look for the department, and you can write the department, look for in the email you find, and you write to the department that you've seen this professor, you're interested in his research and you've not been able to get to him. He may be on leave, or maybe the email may not be working, and the department can as well help you to reach to that professor, and he will be able to respond to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karin. Thank you. Very useful. Okay, I think we have the pool ready, right? We have the pool ready. And so the pool is just to get feedback from you. A question, we have just a question to answer. Okay. So, okay, so you have in front of you, you have the question. Give us an answer. Remember to click submit. Remember to click submit when you select the answer, okay? So the question is, how much would you pay to have full support on your scholarship application process? How much will you pay to have full support on your scholarship application process? You have options there. Click it and then take submit. Okay. In other words, what do you think is worth to have somebody support you for your scholarship application? Okay. So in a few seconds, we're going to close the poll. Okay, by now I think everybody has taken it. Maybe 2. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, thank you so much for this sincere feedback. So
Yes.
I just wanted to find out, we have, so I don't know if we have the contacts of everybody. Please feel free to join the WhatsApp channel, okay, so that we can reach out to you. This is very important for us. We want to ensure that you have the support you need. If you're here today, it's because you need assistance and we want to be able to give you the most support, okay? So click on the link, it has been shared. Just go to the chat section and click on the WhatsApp channel link and join, okay? Thank you very much. Ms. Faith, have you something to say?
I was just going to say, I don't know, because I see that we have representatives for both of, at the beginning, Karim mentioned Open Dreams and Babies Consulting.
Okay.
And I know that they do
Yes.
offer support as well. So you have like a lot. Open Dreams offers all of this information and support. Babies Consulting offers all of this scholarship support as well for students who are applying. And we have the consultants here, so we didn't get too far into that, but that information is being shared with you and would equally be shared with you so that you know who to reach out to if you're stuck at any point. Yeah, I think that's the part I wanted to add.
Thank you so much. We are going to move to the last part of this workshop. In this segment, I'm interested, and we're all interested to know how it has been. We want to get your feedback. We have a feedback form, right? We hope you fill the feedback form and send us your feedback. I would share the form link, or Karin, please help us with the form link. Okay. In this last segment, what we want to do is we want to find out how helpful this has been. We want to hear from maybe 1 or 2 participants. How did you find the session? Do you have feedback? Well, this is not the kind of feedback that you share in the feedback form, just to know if you had your preoccupations met when you came for the workshop. Okay, so let us first hear from the mentors, from the consultants. Could you please give us your feedback in general, working with the participants, and let's hear from a couple of participants as well. Okay, so. Yes, Futsi, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. It was very brief with the the candidates, so I'm not sure I helped them that much, but most of them had issues with applying for fundings and needed some things like IELTS to be waived and registration fee to be waived. So those were their main difficulty for those who went on to apply, and some didn't try and they just knew that they want a scholarship in a specific field, and those were the questions they were asking, but the field itself I don't understand the field. So it was not my field. So it was mainly biology, animal biology, stuff like that, which I'm not familiar with. So I found it a little bit challenging when I was looking at it for them. So where I think that it's good to like combine them with people that are familiar with their field, for example, because the guy who asked on engineering, I could easily even know offhand of some programs that I know that offer scholarship. But those on animal science and mental health, I had no idea. I was first of all asking myself if there was a master in the field, or was it a specialty when you do, I don't know, biology, then you specialize. So she had to really explain for me to get it and try to look. So I think the time was short, so I'm not sure I was of help to them. But I also think some were not really prepared because the questions were a bit general, and I didn't feel like they are ready to apply to a specific thing. So the question was so general, like they are wondering, and so I think they are overwhelmed with all the information that you get when you just Google, you want a scholarship in this field. So you see many links and you don't really know where to start from all those links. So that was the issue. And so they were hoping that by asking me, I will know, but it's still the same process. I also have to Google it and try to filter. But for me to filter, I should be familiar with the field at least, which I'm not. So that was the difficulty for me in some of their questions. And I'm just suggesting that maybe when they are matched, they should be matched with people that are of their field. Maybe they will be more helpful. That was my experience.
Thank you so much. I think this is very useful feedback, and we have a number of things to improve in our next session. I want to hear from the participants for the most part. How do you find the session? Where do you think we can improve? What do you think about this working session? Do you think there's something we can work on? We want to be able to serve you in the best way possible. Okay, so feel free to raise your hand, and we'll give you the floor. If you don't know where to raise your hand, just open your mic, and then while there's no one talking, you could always talk.
We have the hand up.
Okay, yes, Jato Mark, yes, over to you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well, thank you.
Okay. My name is Mark, Jato Mark. I am the founder and managing director of BMIS Consulting. You talked about participants. Maybe if there's a participant who go in, because I'm coming in line with the same thing, my experience, the same thing. I think the last speaker, she talked about her experience. Maybe if there's a participant who wants to share, I would want to hear from them before I chip in. But if there's nobody, maybe I would go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So if I mean, any of the participants, any of the students, let us know if you have feedback, share your feedback about this session. What do you think about it? Where do you think can improve? Already we have heard from FTSE, there was not so much time. We can work on that in our subsequent session, and general questions, but just let us know what you think about the session. It will really be helpful to us. Feel free to open your mic and talk and take the floor.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
As
Ariane,
I said to my host, I'm having a bachelor degree in physics. My specialty was nanophysics and condensed matter. That is what I was looking for, a guideline, like someone can say, a guideline on doing links, for example, doing medical physics or or medical physics or nanophysics like that, but the host told me that I should do AIMS. Is that should I take it? Should I take it just like that, or I'm asking for more information about that? Yes.